Had a big victory against Facebook, or to be more specific, against the fact-checking agencies that Facebook contracts with, so that they can claim that it's not them taking people's posts down or deciding what's fake news. It's a third-party, independent, professional fact-checker. For those who don't know, when professional Facebook pages get, I think it's 3 fact-check notices, or a combination of 3 fact-check and community guideline strikes, then they're completely demonetized, which is what happened to my page. But unlike me, Candace Owens is a huge star. I'm just a moderate-sized fish in this pretty big pond. She has a lot more resources than I do and a lot more connections. So she decided to sue the fact-checkers for spreading fake news and costing her the revenue on her Facebook page. PolitiFact removed one of the penalties from her page and issued this public correction, noting that, quote, PolitiFact originally labeled this video false in our capacity as a third-party fact-checker for Facebook. On November 20th, an appeal to that decision was made on behalf of Ms. Owens, by her lawyers, I may add. PolitiFact approved the appeal on November 20th, the same day, determined that a correction was appropriate and removed the false rating. This might actually be the first time that the fact-checkers have backed down, and probably the first time that anybody has actually challenged them, so it's a good start. I'm not sure, but I think she was demonetized just after that New York Times article came out fairly recently, complaining about how popular conservatives are on Facebook and how viral our content is going. I know the Hodge twins page was demonetized within days after that. I think Terrence K. Williams was as well. All, of course, were mentioned in that article. So maybe it's time for a class action lawsuit against the fact checkers. After all, one of the fact checks that caused my page to get demonetized was posting this picture from Congressman John Lewis's funeral and pointing out that they weren't social distancing, but the third-party independent fact-checkers said that I was spreading fake news and that they were. I mean, what are you going to believe? The fact-checkers on Facebook or your lying eyes? They also fact-checked this meme that I posted of Martin Luther King wearing a Make America Great Again hat. I'm not kidding. The genius researchers over there determined that it was false and photoshopped. And just yesterday, they posted another strike on my page for hate speech for posting this Black Friday meme. At first, they just censored it under a warning that it was sensitive and cruel content, but it continued to go viral. People were curious. They clicked the little, see anyway link at the bottom of the picture. It continued to be shared across Facebook. So then a few hours later, they completely removed the post, put another penalty on my page, and I wouldn't be surprised if I get completely banned fairly soon. And in case you're wondering why almost every popular independent social media personality recently has had Facebook posts removed or been demonetized or briefly suspended or completely banned from their account, except for Ben Shapiro, it's because he's the establishment's golden boy neocon of choice, so they can point to him and say, see, we allow conservatives on our platform. And what few people know is that last year Mark Zuckerberg had Ben over to his house, or over to one of his houses for dinner to hear his concerns about how Facebook was suppressing and censoring conservatives. And what that really means is he's in the protected class and has a direct line of communication with Facebook, probably even Mark Zuckerberg's cell phone number, in case he has any issues that he needs them to fix for him. But Candace Owens was making too many waves. She was inspiring too many black people to join the Trump train with her Blexit movement, the black exit from the Democrat Party. Same with the Hodge twins, same with Terrence K. Williams. You can't be messing with the Democrats' base like that without repercussions, so Facebook's moving to shut them down. And in my case, I cover a lot of news and make a lot of jokes about things that most conservatives won't dare touch with a 10-foot pole because they're afraid to get branded with the R word. You are a racist! Facebook may be banning Eric Clapton and Van Morrison, however, because the two are collaborating on an anti-coronavirus lockdown protest song. Because, as you know, Facebook bans people who organize anti-lockdown protests, and not even doctors are allowed to dare say that kids should be back in school and small businesses should open so that millions of them don't go bankrupt. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention in my last video about the latest tech hearing where Jack Dorsey and Mark Zuckerberg testified virtually about their censorship of conservatives and their meddling in the election. When he's asked to name a single liberal that has been censored on the platform, and he couldn't.
Can you name for me one high-profile person or entity from a liberal ideology who you have censored and what particular action you took?
Senator, I can get you a list of some more of this, but there are certainly many examples that your Democratic colleagues object to when a fact checker might label something as false that they disagree with, or they're not able to.
I get that. I get that. I just want to be clear. I'm just asking you if you can name for me one high-profile liberal person or company who you've censored. I understand that you're saying that there are complaints on both sides, but I just want one name of one person or one entity.
Senator, I need to think about it and get you more of a list, but there are certainly many issues on both sides of the aisle where people think we are making content moderation decisions that they disagree with.
That's interesting, because I could probably name dozens of conservatives who've been banned, from Alex Jones and Roger Stone to Laura Loomer and Carpe Diem, but the CEO of the platform couldn't name a single person on the other side. Not one. And when Zuckerberg says that Democrats disagree with Facebook's moderation policies, of course, he means that they want them to censor us even more. Keith Olbermann doesn't want us all just banned from social media. He wants us all in jail.
We also want as many members as possible of this corrupt, immoral, anti-democratic outgoing administration indicted, arrested, tried, and imprisoned. We want enough of them in there that they can hold reunions and birthday parties. We want the prisons so filled with Trumps and Trump flunkies and Trump apologists and Trump enablers that we have to convert Trump buildings into new goddamned Trump prisons. I am not trying to start some sort of reality-based, non-paranoid